Hello, welcome to our project presentation. My name is Said. Me and my friends Enis, Ceren and İnci will present the project. Our main question is, how can we encourage students at Sabancı University to learn from feedback? Before we start, let me introduce how the project presentation will continue. Firstly, lifelong learner statement. This means an attitude of lifelong learner about feedback. The second one is, what is feedback? The definition of feedback. The third one is educational feedback. In other words, feedback in educational context. The fourth one is benefits of feedback. The fifth one is types of feedback. The sixth one is survey results. We did a survey at Sabancı University and some of the students participated in, and in this part of the project we share some results. The final part of the project is the conclusion part. Now we want to talk about feedback in lifelong learning, because feedback is an important part of lifelong learning, and lifelong learning gives us a lot of valuable opinion about feedback. Lifelong learners learn from all feedback. They also reflect accurately on their own learning and actively look for ways and take opportunities to help themselves develop. What is the feedback? Feedback is a type of information that can be transferred in which verbal or non-verbal responses are provided for individual behavior as soon as possible, and perceived and used by the person who initiated the behavior. Now, let's talk about feedback in terms of education. According to Sadler, feedback in educational contexts is information provided to a learner to reduce the gap between current performance and a desired goal.
Taking and giving feedback have so many benefits on different parts of people's lives. We will focus on feedback's advantages on students' educational life. First of all, feedback provides quality information to students about their learning. The teachers have a vital role in increasing their students' own ability for understanding the self-regulation process. They are also an essential source of external feedback. Teachers are usually more effective in detecting mistakes in students' work. As a result, providing quality information to students is very important to ensuring students' learning. Another benefit of feedback is inspiring positive motivational beliefs. Motivation can play a vital part in learning and assessment. Studies on motivation and self-esteem are significant as they help students to understand self-regulation where they often fail. While feedback provides evidence about progress and achievements, it leads to enhanced student satisfaction. After discussing feedback from a motivational perspective, let's move on to third benefits of feedback. Feedback provides opportunities to close the gap between current and desired performance to students. According to the BUT, the only way to tell if learning results from feedback is for students to make some kind of response to complete the feedback loop. Unless students are able to use the feedback to produce improved work, for example, redoing same assignment. We can analyze two different statements from BUT's words. First one is, closing the gap is about supporting students while being involved in writing a coursework. Another one is about providing opportunities to repeat the same task after getting submission by allowing resubmission. Feedback should be supporting in both the cases. Last thing I want to mention is that feedback allows peer dialogue in understanding the feedback. This conceptualizes feedback more as dialogue rather than as information transmission. Feedback as dialogue means that the students will not only get feedback information but also has the opportunity to have discussion about that feedback afterwards.
Okay, we will talk about types of feedback. First, face-to-face feedback, second, written feedback, and third, online feedback. First of all, what is face-to-face feedback? Face-to-face feedback is oral feedback, and teachers and students discuss or talk face-to-face. Also, this type of feedback creates a dialogue because students and teacher are close to each other. Other feature of this feedback share ideas at the same time. Let's go to the next slide. Well, what are advantages of face-to-face feedback? First advantage, teachers and students respond immediately. And second advantage is teachers or students can express feelings easily because close to each other. And third advantage, this type much quicker than written and online because speech is faster than others. And last advantage of face-to-face feedback, this type provides more focus for teachers or students. Alright, face-to-face feedback has several disadvantages. For example, students may become defensive when receiving critical feedback because when we share argumentative or critical ideas, some people may get angry or upset. And second disadvantages of face-to-face feedback, if we only speak without writing, the student might not be remembered some things because writing is permanent, but speech is temporary. Another type of feedback is written feedback. Okay, what is written feedback? Written feedback is written on papers or documents and also contains notes and corrections are made by teachers. And another features of written feedback contains advice and ideas for improvement. Well, what are advantages of written feedback? First advantage of written feedback, students can refer to feedback again and again because I said before, writing is permanent. And second advantage of written feedback, students can see revisions easily. And third advantage of written feedback, this type has no time limit and more flexible than others. However, written feedback has several disadvantages. For example, it takes time to communicate with others because teachers have to write own ideas. After this, students can see and read these ideas or feedbacks. And second disadvantages of feedback, written feedback might be hard to read for students. And last disadvantages, when a critical idea, handwritten feedback can be threatening due to lack of sense. Let's go to the next slide. Last type of feedback is online feedback. Okay, what is online feedback? Teachers and students use meeting applications and internet. And also, people who give or receive feedback can access this feedback thanks to computer, telephone, or communication devices. And last things, we need a teacher and students. It's more important than others. Alright, online feedback has several advantages. For example, teachers can send any convenient time or place as they are assessing students' work. Another advantage is students can refer back to teachers' feedback again and again because the meetings can be recorded by teachers. Also, students can reply directly to teachers' feedback and this type more comfortable and interactive. On the other hand, online feedback has disadvantages. For example, students may have limited access to networked computers. Second disadvantages, students may not treat online feedback as seriously as if it were face-to-face or written. Also, last disadvantages of online feedback, we may have privacy problems. Let's go to the survey result.
To see the students' and teachers' requirements and demands, we prepared a survey via Google Forms. We have responses from 40 learners and 15 teachers. In learners' survey, when we asked their preference for feedback, 60% of the students preferred face-to-face feedback. 22.5% of the students preferred written feedback, and 17.5% preferred online feedback. We will give you a few seconds to read these comments. As you can see, because written and online feedback is easier to access and more convenient in terms of remembering, some students preferred online or written feedback. Those who chose face-to-face feedback are generally found this feedback type useful in terms of sharing their ideas concurrently and asking questions. When we asked whether feedback is useful for educational life or not, all students answered yes. As it is seen, students believe that the students who are receiving feedback should be open to new ideas, have effective listening, and ask questions to understand the feedback. And this chart shows that students find feedback always or usually helpful for learning. Now you can read some comments. As you can see, students in SL find feedback useful, especially writing skills. Also, understanding other students' viewpoints is found helpful by students. In teacher survey, while 15 teachers have answered the question which asks whether feedback is necessary for education or not as yes, one teacher answered maybe. When we asked that which type of feedback is most beneficial for students, 11 teachers chose face-to-face feedback. Nobody chose online feedback. One teacher chose written feedback, and some of them preferred different combinations of various feedback types. Now you can read some comments. Now you can see that, except the teachers who preferred face-to-face feedback, teachers argues that each type has different benefits. In this chart, you can see that besides timely feedback, trying to say not only mistakes but also positive comments, and an open mindset, some teachers added that they should be kind and ask students helpful questions. When we asked that how can teachers improve their feedback, they answered that they should explain clearly and kindly. Collaboration with other teachers also would be beneficial. Then we asked teachers that how can students be better at learning from feedback. They answered that students should take it more seriously and understand that feedback is an opportunity for improvement and ask their questions.
Conclusion: students and teachers find feedback beneficial. There are different types of feedback, such as face-to-face, written, and online feedback. All types of feedback have disadvantages and advantages. Appropriate feedback may vary depending on the student and the situation on which feedback is given. The most preferred type of feedback by students, 60%, was face-to-face feedback. The remaining 40% preferred online or written feedback for easier access and recall. Teachers' opinions mostly favor face-to-face feedback. Some teachers prefer different combinations of various feedbacks.
We need to make students aware of the benefits of feedback. We should encourage teachers to exchange ideas and collaborate with each other to improve their feedback. We should also ask students to give feedback on the feedback they receive. Before the feedback, a questionnaire should be sent which is asking which type of feedback they want. Also, the suggested type by teacher should be indicated for that work. Feedback should be based on these survey results.